The Gina and Matty podcast.
Tomorrow we are off air. We are paying our respects, doing things for ANZAC Day. I'll be at a dawn service. I'll be making ANZAC biscuits with my beautiful children. And we thought, you know what, there's no better person to speak to than Tash from Coasties Mag, at Coasties Mag on Instagram as well, to find out exactly what is going on across the coast. Morning, Tash, how are you?
Good morning, Matty. Good morning, Gina.
Good morning,
Thanks for having me
Tash.
on this morning.
No, thanks for being here. We thought we'd get you in and you can help fill the coast in on what's going on tomorrow.
Yes, well, we're certainly not short of ways to show our respects tomorrow. There's plenty of things happening throughout the coast, so hopefully I can give you some ideas of things you can do.
Please.
So I'll start with the services. We've got over 12 locations throughout the coast, so we're not short of a service. There's dawn services happening over 12 locations. I won't list them all, but there is an article on our website if you'd like to look at those.
Beautiful.
Gosford has a beautiful dawn service. And for those who can't make the dawn, there's also a main service at 11 a.m. in Gosford. Terrible Beach has a beautiful one. Yeah, it's good to have the second one. I think it helps a lot of families that just simply can't get their kids out of bed.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. The one at Terrigal's beautiful as well on the water there.
It is indeed. The thing about Terrigal as well, there's actually a trek for vets that happens from this evening. It actually starts at about 10 p.m. and it's a beautiful cause, as you can imagine. It's for charity, and a group of really brave people trek from Boodai National Park right through and arrive at the dawn service in Terrigal. So it's a beautiful way to show your respects. Registrations have closed for this year, but for next year, a perfect idea for those who really want to show their respects in a bit of a unique way.
So they trek through the night?
They do, yeah.
Amazing.
It's pretty amazing.
Wow.
Yeah, Trek for Vets on Instagram if you want to check that one out. It's a really cool cause and a really good way to start, I guess, what is a day of remembering. So there's that Davistown RSL, as we know there's a 6 a.m. Dawn service, followed by a breakfast. They have live entertainment later in the day, and then they start their two-up service as well. So those wanting some two-up, there's two-up throughout the coast, same thing again, plenty of places.
Yeah.
Gosford RSL, newly renovated as we know. They have got it in their club lounge from 1:30. Central Coast Leagues, they've got it in their scenic lounge from 2 till 5. And Club Umina have also got it. While you're down in Umina, I did notice the Book Nook in Umina Beach, they are actually open tomorrow from 1 p.m. and they are donating 10% of all their afternoon sales to Soldier on Australia, which is another incredible charity.
Oh, that's
I
nice.
thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah, so I thought that was a really cool thing to do. If you're going down to Umina, then pop in and have a look for some books. Hotel Gosford, they have the biggest two-up arena on the coast. Always a vibe in there. We love Hotel Gosford, so plenty of entertainment happening in-house there. And then for those who want a bit of a day, the Gosford Entertainment Grounds have their ANZAC Day race day. So it's from 11 a.m, a full day of family fun. The first race is from midday. There's plenty of kids' entertainment. They've got pony rides, face painting, jumping castles, lawn games. They'll have two up for the adults in the beer garden and races from midday that day.
Sounds fun.
Yes, there's not short of an event for tomorrow, that's for sure.
No, and most of the major retailers will be running restricted trading hours as well. So I think like Erin Affair, Batto Bay Square and Westfield Tuggerah, they're going to be opening from 1 p.m. till 9 p.m. And the major retailers, Coles, Woolies, Aldi, Liquorland, all of the above will also open at 1 p.m. And closing hours may differ from store to store, so you need to check that out. Tash, Coasties Mag, you're launching this really cool thing because I guess, small businesses are doing it tough and you want to get as many people to spend and shop locally as possible. Can you tell us about, just quickly, the Coasties card app that you're going to be launching soon?
Of course, yes. So, it is exactly that, a way to support local businesses in getting their business out to the local community through, at the moment, it's a free offering for all local businesses. But for the local community as well, it's a really cheap membership to join up. And you can access discounts to over 200 local businesses. So it's really about driving that support local movement and helping people understand how easy it is to spend local and support that local economy, which if we don't, we're in some big trouble in years to come.
Yeah, absolutely. So if there's someone listening at the moment running a small business and they want to get involved, this is the first time they're hearing about it, what have they got to do?
They can reach out to us on Instagram at Coasties Mag or at Coasties Card. We've got both handles, and we've also got the email address coastiescard@coastiesmag.com.
Beautiful. Thank you, Tash. Always full of information. We love it, letting everyone know where they can go and what they can do tomorrow. You have a fantastic ANZAC Day. Thank you for your time.
You too, guys. Thanks for having me.
Bye. I thought, you know what, I will share. I'm feeling generous. I'm feeling generous. I'm going to share with you. Share with you my world famous, could be overstating it a little bit, but my ANZAC biscuit recipe. So
see, we wanted you to stop at my world famous ANZAC Biscuits.
Yeah, look.
Recipe.
You tried your hardest
make your own.
to guilt me on air yesterday to make some to bring in. I didn't finish.
Feel bad.
I was working. I was filming all day yesterday. I didn't get home till late at night. Well, late for me, 6 o'clock. And I contemplated it. I was like, should I still knock them up? And I was like, nah, I'm not going to do it.
I did write you a text and said, look, I'm sorry I guilted you into that. Don't feel like you have to. But now I'm sorry I wrote you that text.
Yes, but I will bring some on Friday, and I will do a little video today for our socials. And if you'd feel free to make them yourself as well, Jenna, if you'd like. You
Tell us what's in them, Matty.
Okay, well, welcome to my kitchen. It's a little noisy in here. Guys, can you keep it down?
Yes, chef.
Behind chef, corner chef. So I thought I'd take you through. So what you do need to get out of the pantry, I'll just help you. I'll get it out as well. So you need to get some rolled oats.
Oh, yeah.
You get some rolled oats. You get desiccated coconut, some brown sugar, and plain flour. They're your 4 dry ingredients.
Yeah.
You put all of those into a bowl, right? So you've got 90 grams of rolled oats, 90 grams of desiccated coconut, 150 grams of brown sugar, and 150 grams of plain flour, right?
Yep.
That all goes into a bowl. Just mix that all up.
Mix it with your hands? Or mix it with
Wash your hands first if you're going to do it.
But with just like a wooden spoon?
Just a wooden spoon. You want to combine the ingredients, combine the dry ingredients. And then what you do is you leave that there on the bench, and then you go over to your hot plate, over to your stove, you pull out a little saucepan, and you put in 125 grams of butter. Right? Half a stick of butter. That goes in, and you melt the butter up. Then you put in 2 tablespoons of golden syrup.
Oh
my gosh, golden syrup.
Is this your secret ingredient?
No, golden syrup's pretty stock standard
in
ANZAC Biscuits. Okay. It's the love that goes into it that makes it special, right? So the golden syrup, and then you let that melt together. You bring it down to the melt. You don't want it to boil, You don't want it to. You just want it to melt together. And then, while that's happening, you get yourself just a little measuring cup, and you put yourself in 1 tablespoon of water. Yeah. Okay? And then pour that into your butter, and then a teaspoon of bicarb soda, right? And what happens is the butter and the golden syrup just goes, starts bubbling up, it froths up, and when it's frothing up in the saucepan, you pour it into your dry ingredients, so the wet goes into the dry, mix it all together until it's just combined. Oh, everyone's left. Where'd everyone go? You mix it till it's just combined. Don't overmix it, because then you get dry and chewy biscuits. So you just mix when it's all together.
Don't mix too long.
Just till it's combined.
Okay.
Then you put it onto a tray with some baking paper, flatten out your little biscuits a bit, sort of like a golf ball size.
Yep, that was my next question.
Should get about 12 of them into a preheated oven.
What do you put crush them with?
What do you flatten them with?
Yeah, with a spoon, the back of a spoon?
Just your hand. You don't because they will spread a little. So you just got to push them down a little bit, give them a little
Not too much,
press.
but they're going to spread once they get in the oven.
They will spread.
Okay.
Yeah. So into the oven.
Don't put them too close to each other.
No. So a normal size tray that goes into your oven will fit about 12. So you go 4 across, 3 down, into the oven, which has been preheating at about 150 degrees.
Oh, not too hot.
Don't, because you will burn. No, you will burn your biscuits, and there's nothing worse than burnt biscuits. So they go in there, but you got to keep your eyes on them, right? So it's somewhere between 10 and 12 minutes is sort of the good area.
Set your timer. For 10.
And then the trick with biscuits is if they look cooked in the oven, they're burnt.
Right.
They'll be way too. It's just before. So they start to go a little bit golden on the bottom. Pull them out. Put them on the bench. Let them sit on the tray for another 5 minutes or so, because they'll continue to cook.
Okay.
And then put them onto a cooling rack. And then
question from the back row.
We got questions. Yes. Any questions? Yes.
Yes. So if you pull them out and they still look a bit soft and soggy. But they're a little bit golden. Should you pull them out so that they keep cooking? Like, is that the good spot?
Yeah. Well, it also depends on how you like your ANZAC biscuits. People like
Not
it. Some
hard.
people like snap, like could rip out.
I don't mind
a
it.
filling.
I don't mind.
Yeah.
I like chewier ones.
So less time for chewy, longer for the crunchy.
Okay.
But just don't burn them, because then you're like, oh, what a waste of time that was.
Yeah.
All right. So I'll put the recipe up on our socials. I'll do a little video later on today. So following Gina and Matty on the socials, I'll put a little video up and you can make your own.
Yum.
Are you going to make some?
Yeah, maybe.
You're not going to use my recipe though, are you? You know whose recipe you're going to use.
Recipe Tunics.
Right now, Australian Road Crew Association has announced the star-studded live album of 1999's Christmas benefit concert for the troops, featuring performances from John Farnham, Doc Neeson, Kylie Minogue, The Living End, James Blundell, and who's that? Gina Jeffries is set for release today, and we are joined this morning by Gina Jeffries to tell us about it. Good morning, Gina.
Good morning, Matty. Thanks for having me.
1999. You spun me out a little while ago by saying that was 25 years ago.
Yeah.
Performing for the troops in East Timor,
Yeah.
what an experience.
I was talking with the Wolf Brothers a couple of nights ago, asking them what's the biggest gig they've ever done, and it stirred up with me. This is definitely the biggest gig I've ever done. So we got invited to go over, basically as a thank you to the troops. So there were 4,000 Aussie troops over in East Timor, protecting East Timorese kids and left their own kids here in Australia. I had no idea really about anything to do with troops and armies and all that sort of stuff at all until I got there. And my first reaction when they asked me was, I don't know. I'm nervous to go because it's dangerous.
Well, it's a military zone.
Yeah. It was literally dangerous. So I was hesitant, and then I thought, you know what, go. And I'm so glad I did. But the scariest gig of my life. So we flew in. We had to go and have all your immunisations and stuff.
Did you
at
go
the
in
army
sorry,
barracks?
Yeah. Did you go in like one of the Hercules? Did you go in an army plane?
So you're flying in an army plane where you're sitting, sideways with earmuffs on, strapped in, very noisy, not air conditioned. The whole thing. You fly in.
No air stewardesses.
No, there was
stewards walking up and down, flight attendants.
Yeah, nothing. And then you step off the plane in East Timor, and it's so hot. It's so hot. It's like instant sweat.
Yeah.
It's so hot that when you have a shower, you're sweating before you dry yourself. It was crazy. And just worried about what would happen. But as soon as we got there, so we're flying with John Farnham, Kylie Minogue, Doc Neeson.
Roy NHG?
Roy NHG hosted it.
How
James
good.
Blundell, The Living End. It was insane to just be a part of that. Mind blowing, but scary, But what they did for us was each one of the artists had our own soldier with a gun within 1.5 meters of us 100% of the time. So even to go to the toilet or the shower, I had this guy with me. And that was weird wrapping your head around that as well.
Yeah.
But he was there the whole time. Then when we slept at night, we were in tents, and they'd separated the boys and the girls.
Yes.
And I just married Rod that year, and he was in a tent with John Farnham, and I was next door with Kylie Minogue, literally lying down on an army stretcher to sleep. And for
Amazing.
our safety, there were tanks circling the campsite all night. So to keep us safe.
Did it make you feel safer because they were there, or did it make you feel a little bit unsafe because they were there?
They made
what I mean?
me feel so safe.
Yeah,
Because you know
right.
me, I don't take very many risks, and I'm a really sort of safe, cautious kind of person. So they made me feel really safe. But then you think to yourself, okay, well, tomorrow we're doing this concert with 4,000 of our Aussie troops. Lots of East Timorese families and kids amongst the audience as well. And then you've got, John Farnham and Kylie Minogue on the stage, as well as, a bunch of other famous Australians. If ever they were going to target and make a point, it was now. This also went out to live streamed to Channel 9, Channel 7 and Channel 10.
I remember.
It's the first time that had ever happened. So it was so scary. And if you can imagine what could possibly make a country music singer, little girl from Queensland, more nervous, A, in a war zone, B, really, really hot, C, trying to remember the lyrics to Christmas songs.
Yeah,
that makes me nervous.
I see the track listing here. You saying Dancing with Elvis is one of the songs?
Yeah, that's one of my songs.
Yeah.
And then I did Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas. And we all sang, there was Am I Ever Going to See Your Face Again, of course.
Did the crowd sing it back?
Like you would not believe. It was just one of those moments. But to do all of that, as well as sing in front of John Farnham and Kylie Minogue.
Yeah.
So I could not have been more nervous. And right before I walked on stage, you have a little swallow and you choke on your own spit.
Oh.
And I'm like, no, so nervous. But the most rewarding part for me, amongst many rewarding parts, was I was standing on the stage singing Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas, and I looked out into the audience, and there was this female soldier right near the front in tears, and she just mouthed to me, "Thank you." Because at that
away
point,
away from her family,
and they were feeling as though Australia had forgotten that they were there. They hadn't had a lot of. I think that we probably it wasn't on the news much here at the time, and they were just so grateful. But we were the grateful ones to go and see what the troops do, and for me to see that first-handed the day before Anzac Day is incredible. I got to see what they do and see what brilliant people they are, and they put their lives and leave their own families to protect others.
Incredible.
Or serve their country. It's absolutely incredible. I have such huge respect for Aussie soldiers, and they're incredible people, and I'm so glad I got to do that.
And that's what tomorrow's all about as well, paying respects for our soldiers that have gone before us and who are still here serving this country as well. So I'm just looking at some of these photos of that crowd. It is huge, and they're all wearing Santa hats. And
the other thing about it was because it was a war zone, there was no electricity, so we had to fly, and I didn't organise this. There were 8 planes flown in full of gear. So there was generators, all the staging, they set up a stage from scratch with generators and all the leads. And if you can imagine, that filled 8 planes. And the roadies who we're celebrating today, this is why we're releasing this album. Yeah, they set that up. They all flew over and from scratch. Imagine setting up, and that's you're looking at the photos. It's a massive concert.
Tech setups at the now with the most sophisticated equipment in proper theatres is a nightmare. Yeah. Let alone trying to do that in a war zone from scratch. So it's this album is available via Accra's Black Box Records. I'm sure you can search it and find it. Accra is Australian Road Crew Association. It's the desk tapes, so it's literally recorded straight out of the mixing desk.
No one got to go back in and sing if you made a mistake or you sang out of tune or what. Not that John Farnham does.
Oh no, he's the voice.
I've got the best photo of me and him. He's backstage. He's just come off. We both just come off stage, and he is like a beetroot red. And
he sweated a bit too, didn't
he? So sweaty, like completely wet right through. He would hate that photo, but I love it.
How special! So grab it from Accra's Black Box Records. Not as easy to say for some, and also all the musicians and production crews donated all their fees. I must say as well to the troops as well. So fantastic news.
The Gina and Matty podcast.
For more great comedy shows like this, head to novapodcast.com.au.